What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rants and Headaches. Thank you so much for watching. And today it's time for a little bit of a story time. So I am in a casual relationship and I have absolutely fallen head over heels in love. So I don't know how this is going to work out. So this is that story. So I met this guy back in January. I was really frustrated with a lot of things that were going on in my life. I was kind of at my wit's end with a lot of stuff. And I was just like, you know what? I need to just go out and have fun, blow off some steam. Didn't really go out necessarily looking to meet anybody, but I was open to it. So we met at, let's just say, an adult-oriented place. So things were kind of off to a good start. And we had a great time together, and we just sat and talked for a while, and it was just an awesome night all around. And of course we exchanged numbers, and so I texted him later that night, and we kind of figured out from there when we would get together. At the time I met him, I had to go out of town for a week, right after this. So we were kind of hoping we could get together again sooner than that, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes. But I felt like, I think one of the reasons I am so into him is because right away he just has this sweetness about him. You know, for example, I was nervous about flying. He told me that, you know, if I was feeling upset, I could call him from the airport and that kind of thing. And, you know, just those kind of little things that were just really, that weren't necessarily a big deal, but were just really, really thoughtful and sweet and caring. And I feel like it's so rare to find that these days. So about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, I don't remember exactly, we had our first official date, which was fine. He asked me what I wanted him to wear, and I told him what I was gonna wear. So I thought that was another thing that was just kind of a really sweet aspect of it. He came and picked me up. He took me to one of his favorite local restaurants, which was great, but there were a couple things that bothered me that I thought would be kind of red flags. You know, when you're out with somebody, it's like you want to just let loose and have fun, but at the same time, people can be the way people can be, okay? Let's just be honest. So if someone's acting a certain way or doing certain things, you don't necessarily want to just ignore that, you know? So the first one was that for most of the car ride and most of the date, he just really wasn't very talkative. And I didn't know how to take that at first. At first I just kind of thought, okay, are you just tolerating me because you want something to happen? Or is this, you know, what's going on here? And I really feel like it was just a matter of him just kind of getting it, because I don't have that problem with him at all now. So maybe it was just that first day, but it was something that I kind of noticed and tucked away in the back of my mind. But it did not become a problem at all. We communicate just fine. I have no problem telling him if something bothers me and we need to change something. With him, it's the same way. We have no problems talking about boundaries. We have no problem talking about any issue. We communicate really, really well, actually. So I'm very happy about that. The other thing that concerned me, though, he is a little bit more dominant than I'm used to tolerating. Okay? So we're at the restaurant, and I get my food, and there's something I'm cutting up on my plate, and I use my spoon for it because I don't have a knife, but that's fine. I'm 75% of the way done, and it's really not an issue. It's actually easier. It was shrimp, okay? You don't really need a knife. You can actually just press down, kind of do that, and you're done. You're good. But he said I needed a knife. He said he'd get me a knife, and I said, no, I'm fine, and he calls the waiter over anyways and gets me a knife. And that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I know that might seem like a small thing, but for me it's okay, I get that you're a take charge, let me take care of this, let me handle it kind of guy, but if you think I can't decide for myself what utensil to use, I don't know how that's gonna go. So again, that was something that initially I thought would be kind of a red flag, but it ended up not really being a problem. I mean, honestly, if he did stuff like that more often, yes, it would be an issue. I think I can decide for myself whether I want a spoon or a fork or a knife. Okay, please. Like, I'm just not into that kind of stuff. I realize from his perspective, he's just taking care of me, but to me, it's just like, it's not that I have a problem with the guy trying to take care of me. It's just a matter of if it's to the point where I can't speak or I can't make my own choices, or if I say something, you think it's your job to overrule me. That's, you know, those are the kind of things that I prefer to personally avoid. I just don't find those things attractive. So anyways, after our first dinner, we go back to his place. I spent the night, which initially I wasn't 100% sure I was gonna do, because it's not that I necessarily try to move slow or anything. It's just a matter of, you know, when you don't know somebody yet, you don't know somebody. And yes, right off the bat, he did make me feel very comfortable, but you know, a lot of people who have really, really bad intentions can be very good at making people feel comfortable. But it was fine. Like I said, we do communicate very well. I would say we didn't really have any issues until like maybe 3.5, 4 weeks. I tend to text, like, all good morning and good night texts are like a big deal to me. A big deal. Conversational text, not so much, but I will kind of let you know what's going on in my day, or if I see something, you know, I see a meme on Facebook, I might text that to you. Stupid stuff like that. He can't stand texting. Like, he will, when we talk on the phone, we'll talk for like an hour. So, I mean, he will communicate and he will, you know, have conversation and talk about what's going on with him or what's on his mind, but he can't stand texting. And so around like week 4 or so, he was like, look, I really don't like to do the texting thing. Like, can we not text all day? Can we not text all the time? And honestly, I was only sending him like 3 or 4 texts a day. It was not this all day thing. So he was a little bit dramatic about it, but you know, he raised something that was an issue for him and he was respectful about it. You know, that's not a big deal. So things were going fine. I would say it was like end of February, early March that the feelings really just went into overdrive for him. And I just started to realize, like, you know what? This is so much more than me just enjoying spending time with him. This is way more serious to me than that. This is someone I don't want to let go of. This is someone I want to be more serious with. And we both kind of got into this from the perspective that this is a casual relationship. So part of me just felt a lot of guilt. It's like, if I go there and I have that conversation, I say, you know, look, I want more with you. I want to be your girlfriend. I want us to be a thing. I want us to try, you know? Is he going to feel taken advantage of? Because that's not what he signed up for. That's not what he was looking for. That's not what I was looking for. So for like a month to a month and a half, I was just wrestling with this back in my mind. I'm like, do I say something? It's like, and I was leaning towards not saying anything, but then it's like, okay, he obviously has some kind of feelings for me, and I could really be missing out on something amazing just because I don't want to say something, just because I'm feeling a little shy. That's stupid. You know, like, I've never wanted anybody this bad in my life. Ever. You're not gonna find somebody like this all the time. He's just so amazing. So I kind of kept these thoughts to myself, and we just kind of did our thing. And he would do so many sweet things for me. He got me some playing cards. I have a collection of playing cards, and he got me some and gave them to me. He's a thrift store guy. He's also gifted me a few of his thrift store finds that made him think of me. He's cooked me breakfast every time that I was there. The first time he did it, I told him that I really appreciated and liked it. So now he cooks me breakfast every time I'm there, and it's just one of those things. Like, I work in a restaurant, you know, so it's like, and I cook at home a lot. So it's like, you know, if there's a time when someone else can do that for me, like, that's just amazing. You know, so he would do all these little things that he knew were a big deal to me. And this whole time, I'm just falling more and more in love with this guy. You know, I can picture myself really having something with him. I can picture myself being with him. I can picture myself being proud to be his girlfriend. I can picture myself being proud of him. So about mid-March, so keep in mind at this point, I'm like dead set on my feelings for him and I'm trying to decide what to do about it for about 2 weeks. So at this point, he lets me know that he wants to move across the country in June. So we don't have a lot of time left. So now I'm kind of into overdrive with this like personal torment of do I say something? Because it's like, okay, now I still want to say something, but now the stakes are higher. Now he's moving in a few months. I think it's a little too soon for us to be living together, let alone moving across the country together. So it's like, even if he is interested, like what then? I'm not interested in a long-term relationship. Do we just like stay in touch while he moves out there, and then do we decide a few months down the road what we're doing? Like, I don't want this to become this long drawn out thing. I want to be his girlfriend, and if it gets to a point where we both decide, you know, for sure that it's not going to happen, then I'd rather kind of pull away and start letting go. Not, you know, I care about him very much, and I want him in my life, but I also feel like if your feelings are this deep for someone, it's kind of hard to just stay friends. So I was wrestling with what to do. And my birthday was April 19th, so I said I really wanted to spend my birthday with him if I could, and we got to, and he picked me up. We went to the store. He let me pick out what I wanted him to make for dinner, so he made me dinner. He had wine. He had the next day planned out with something that he knew I really enjoyed. He took me to go do that. He cooked me breakfast like he always does. It was a wonderful day. And when he dropped me off at the house, because one of the things that was keeping me from holding back at this point was like, I wasn't really sure how he felt. So he drops me off and I'm standing by the door and he looks at me and he just gives me this huge smile. And you don't look at people that way if they're just a friend. Okay, it was just this, I mean, it was this really deep, like, soul connecting look, you know? It was not just your typical smile. It was not just something casual, okay? And at that point, I was like, okay, I know that to some degree, this man loves me. I don't know how much, I don't know how serious it is to him, but I know this man loves me. So if I don't say anything, I am missing out on my chance to be with him. Enough's enough. So a few days later, I call him up, and we hadn't spoken in a few days, so we kind of caught up on some other things first, and finally I said I wanted to talk to him about something important, and, you know, I just said, you're really important to me, and if you've changed your mind about me being your girlfriend, I'm open to it, and, you know, if you're not, I understand. Something really simple like that. And he didn't really specify how he felt about me, and that's not something I pushed for, because the answer was ultimately no anyways. So basically, I don't think he's entirely over his ex. That's the impression that I get. The way he put it is that he felt he has too much baggage. I'm fine with his amount of baggage. I mean, first of all, if you love somebody, you're willing to do more for them than if you don't. So even if he had a little bit more drama and baggage going on in his life, like, I would still be okay with that. But he doesn't have anything that extreme. Of course, there could be things that he's not telling me. He seems to be pretty open. He'll talk about all kinds of things that are bothering him. I know all kinds of things about his past and his background. So of course there could be major things that he's leaving out that I don't know. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think his baggage is really that bad. So I think that, so it's definitely possible that there are other things going on with him that he hasn't let me in on, but I really get the sense that he's just, he seems to be very much in his head too much. I think he's overthinking things quite a bit, to be honest. So as far as his ex is concerned, he really doesn't like her. She really resents him. I don't think it's a matter of him still being in love with her, but I think he does have a lot of disappointment. I think he still has not come to terms with the disappointment of things not working out. I think that's what's holding him back. And to be perfectly frank, if that stuff really bothers him enough that he still feels kind of lost, or like he's not really sure what he wants next in life, like part of me wants him to just get over it and just be with me. But you know, at the same time, that could cause issues down the road. I say that now, but down the road that could definitely cause issues. So at least he's being honest about where he's coming from. I don't think he was just jerking me around. I think he was being very honest about his reasons for not wanting to pursue something more serious with me. So basically, we're still gonna be seeing each other up until mid-June or so when he moves. There's a chance that will fall through. At this point, I'm not sure what will happen if it doesn't. And that's kind of something that's been on my mind. Like, if he doesn't want more with me, I can deal with us having a few outings here and there until he moves. That's fine. But if he doesn't move and he wants to just continue seeing me and never making anything out of it, I'm not really okay with. Like, I feel like I'm a pretty big believer that when a relationship is over, things should just kind of take their natural course. I think people cause themselves a lot of pain and a lot of grief by trying to just push something to try to make it last longer than it should. So if he ends up staying in the area, it's not that I don't want to stop seeing him. I want to be with him. And it's like, I can deal with us hanging out, being friends, going on a few dates here and there for the next month and a half. But, you know, if he wants more than that, then frankly, I need a little more from him. So I'm kind of worried about how that conversation is going to go if the June move does not work out. I kind of think that he just has it in his mind that if he does stay in the area, we'll just be friends with benefits forever. And I mean, don't get me wrong, we have a great time. Obviously, I don't want to let go of him, but I am to the point where I really do want to be with him. You know, he said he had too much baggage, and I think one of the ways he put it was that was confusing for him. And I feel for him, but I'm not confused at all. I know exactly what I want. I want to be with him. And as a result of that just kind of makes it harder for me to just see it. You know, there could be someone else out there who's amazing for me, and I'm not going to get to meet that person because I'm hung up on this guy who, I wouldn't say doesn't care, but doesn't care enough to be with me. Honestly, if this thing doesn't work out with him, I'm not going to go running out there the next day trying to find myself a boyfriend. Like, it's not like that. But I'm just saying, you know, I never planned on meeting someone this amazing and having these feelings for him and wanting this relationship so badly. And it's kind of opened my eyes to how amazing something could really be. So if he stays in the area, I can't just continue being his friend. I'll be his friend in the sense that I care about him and that kind of thing, but I can't continue to reserve my emotions for him, and I can't really continue to prioritize him time-wise either. There's a lot of things going on. My Rants and Headaches content is one thing. In the grand scheme of things, that's not too time-consuming. But I've got a lot of other pieces of content that I'm working on. I'm getting serious at this point of wanting to be a content creator full-time. I've got my hands in a bunch of different projects right now, and I would like to be self-employed 2 years from now. So, and currently, I make no money for my content. So I've got my work more than cut out for me. I've got all kinds of things I'm trying to do for myself. So I can't really be distracted by someone who wants to just kind of have this wishy-washy, in and out kind of view of a relationship with me. If my feelings for him were just a little bit less, maybe that would be fine and this thing could just be dragged out forever. Cool. But it's not like that. I I think we're getting close to a point where it's going to be all or nothing. Look, either you become open to being with me, or we just need to go our separate ways, unfortunately. So at this point, I don't really know what to expect. Because I am the way that I am, and I always think of like the worst case scenario, what I think will happen is June will come, he will make his move, I will sit here and cry my eyes out and eventually move on. He'll probably forget me by the time his plane lands. Okay, it's not like that, but you know, I'm gonna be really, really sad, but I'm gonna accept it. I'm not gonna cause any drama. It is what it is. I know where I stand with him. I know he doesn't want more. You know, there's no sense making it a big deal. But I do know that he has feelings for me. So what I'm worried about is he's gonna move and I'm gonna start to kind of recover and try to heal and start to move on with my life and start to kind of be like, okay, I really wanted that. I really wanted this person and it didn't work out. I've got to move on for myself. And then 3 or 4 months after he's moved, he's gonna call me up and he's gonna want everything that I ever wanted with him. And it's just gonna be like, I have a gut feeling. I have a gut feeling that's how this is gonna go. So part of me wants to just push him and be like, you know, I'm not interested in you calling me several months after I've tried to move on from you, saying you want something, okay? So why don't we just do this thing? Why don't we just do this thing? That's how I feel about it, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, that is basically the story of how we met and what we've been going through. It's been amazing. It's been wonderful. I really hope that he changes his mind and wants to be with me, but at the same time, if he's not ready, then it is what it is. So we'll see what happens. If there are any major updates, I will let you guys know, but that is the story of this wonderful, amazing man that I adore. And I will see y'all next time. If you enjoyed this video, half this video, or even just a quarter of this video, please hit the like button and don't be afraid to subscribe.